you begin with nothing, and you form an idea, you know, like something tells you about something, then you begin creating out of that. The design found its genesis in the tree, in the conifer. You know, let the forest describe the project. It really, the design is a thing of sculpture informing architecture, or art informing architecture on one hand, and on the other hand, architecture, because it is a functional thing, informing art. Wild Walk is a journey. You know, Wild Walk physically is the forest, so, and it's a journey through the forest in two ways. A journey outward, where you walk up, you know, through the trees, through the canopy to this pinnacle where you look out over the greater Adirondacks, and then secondly, I think a journey inward, where as much as you go up, you begin looking out and you begin looking in. So, and as you do that, you know, you come up to, again, that culminating act, the overlook, and the effect of that internally. Because when you start looking at the Adirondack forest, I think the dominant forms are the conifer trees, so the conic shape. And that gave me the shape, you know, of the individual elements of the Wild Walk. I thought back on a tiny little cardboard model that I have in my studio that was a piece of board, a little circular shape, and 6 skewers that I got out of a kitchen drawer and put them together to make the first of these, and then another, and then another. And then it was a matter of clustering them and you know, placing them one way, another way, another way. So there was no regularity to it. So it is a large piece of sculpture, you know, and it also is you know, functionally a walkway that takes us up 40 feet, and there are architectural constraints and that to all of that. So, and then the detailing, things like the white pine needle railing and stuff like that, you know, just as an outgrowth of beginning to look around and trying to find out where in the forest can we find things to draw on, to add, you know, the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. So. I don't know, the whole thing is so much a part of me, and so much of what I think about, and so much of what I believe, and so much of what I am thrilled by. It's the taking of the idea of the Wild Center, which is to inform, to gender love for this place, and moving it outside and doing it in a way that is going to give people, you know, opportunities to touch and feel and look at things that they won't otherwise have. I hope they take away a greater sense of the forest, and a greater sense of the beauty of the forest, and even the complexity of the forest. It's right, you know, it really grew, and it did everything I hoped for. You know, as a designer, it seems to me if you can meet your imagination and your expectations when you see it, it's pretty heady stuff. you know, so.
What struck me first with this job was the size. This is probably the biggest footprint that we've had to work with. There's 19 pieces of this puzzle. There's 19 separate elements. We were working minus 20 here just to get done. I only want to do things once, so it costs too much to do them twice, and you don't want to miss anything. PWF is a unconventional construction company. So we specialize in the unusual, one-of-a-kinds, mainly prototyping. We don't really get a chance to do multiple production runs of things, but so as soon as you get it figured out, you gotta start over with something else. Before we got here, we received the drawings, and actually from Northland gave us a call and said, I got this Robinson Crusoe tree fort thing. It's got a spider web and some suspension bridges, and he says, are you interested? And I said, you called the right guy. You can draw things, but you just can't always build them. So we knew we had some challenges. Since the beginning, we've promoted this safely dangerous aspect, which is the suspension bridges move and they're kind of scary, but you're safe at the same time. Well, people don't realize that we built the Wild Walk twice. We built it in our shop in Syracuse, improved everything so we knew everything was working. So, there's 84 poles to the foundations here. We built special templates at the shop that we then brought out here and then drilled the hole so it matched. So we knew everything was numbered and lettered, and we knew which way, what had to go first. We worked our way out from the outskirts and inward, so we weren't trampling over our products. Just have to watch out for the trees. We have this fence that was put up around here to give us some basic boundaries. When it comes time to building the Wild Walk, you absolutely cannot go to the local store and pick up what you need. You know, there's certain things that don't exist. You know, materials, certain sizes, or certain connections aren't exactly friendly to work with. The poles are all Cor-Ten steel, or weathering steel. They protect themselves. The pipes that are on here, they're 12-inch pipes. They don't make them. They don't exist. So we had to have a special production run. And all the wood on this is cedar for the handrails and everything. The poles for the treehouse, they were all Western red cedar. They came from the state of Washington. The twigs for the raptor's nest, they were all hand-selected. We went out and cleaned a whole bunch of people's yards up and cut their trees down and trudging through the swamps. So leaving this job and going to the next one, from this job we've come together and we've built a lot of teamwork skills. And then our employees, we want them to be happy. We want them to take pride in what they're doing. Our slogan is that we're exceeding excellence, PWF, exceeding excellence. When I was out in Vegas and I make all this stuff, and to this day I go to Vegas and I go to the Wynn and people are staring at these parasols and they're like, oh my God, how do they do that? I'm sure this is going to happen here. I've seen enough tours, little tours here, and people are in awe of what we've done here. So it's nice that we can bring something like this to the Adirondacks.
We dreamed of Wild Walk the year we opened the museum. It was the natural next step that we wanted to take people on the next journey, and we were able to bring back some of the team members to come and work on Wild Walk. We worked with them on the original museum, and it was so fun getting everyone back together. And we had a couple of new team members, Northland Associates, and Northland found this wonderful fabricator, Kevin, and his crew at Phoenix Welding and Fabrication, and we just had a fantastic team. One of the things that was really challenging about this project, and we talked to everyone from the very beginning and everyone was on board, is that we wanted to have the smallest construction footprint possible. The whole idea was to be surrounded by the forest, be in the tops of the trees, and so it was really important that we keep the construction footprint really small. Everyone did such a painstaking job of creating this complicated construction project with cranes and all kinds of specialized equipment to have this structure rise up into the treetops and have the surrounding trees just be right next to us. Part of the team on Wild Walk were our naturalists and our educators that work here at the Wild Center, and it was so fun to put together the group that was going to work on these exhibits. What were the really great new cool stories we were going to be able to tell 30 and 40 feet above the ground. We had such a good time discovering, even for ourselves sometimes, some of the new things that you could see from this perspective.